Hello, EHC. I know you have missed the sports interview during spring break, but not as much as this college has missed football season. After an 8-2 season, there's some buzz across the campus, some whispers of an ODAC championship in the future. My guest today is a part of a backfield that dominated the ODAC, a duo of freshman running backs that combined for 11 touchdowns and over 1,200 yards on the year. That duo was Isaiah Rogers, and my guest here today, Chris Thompson. Chris, thanks for being here, man.
No problem.
So it's March now, and we've kind of got over that last loss that we dealt with during the later part of the season. But now, as we look back at that 8-2 season, what is the overall feel of the locker room about that year?
I think for the most part, we're all happy, man. Coming into the season, we were supposed to be in 8th place. That's where we were ranked. And then I just think we shocked people. I think everybody in the locker room's happy, but we're not satisfied with where we are. Yeah,
and a lot of that success was because of such great freshmen, like that duo that I just mentioned that you're a part of. It's a lot of people that come into this college don't play their freshman year or struggle with the playing time and the adaptation of coming into college. How do you deal with such great success as a freshman?
I think just take it game by game. Coming in as a freshman and playing, it really wasn't different for me. I adjusted well, and I think that it's going to help everybody in the long run. Having a lot of young players step into that big role. So I think it's going to help us out a lot.
That duo that I mentioned meant that you had to split carries this year. How do you and Isaiah deal with that? Sharing the ball.
I think we're both pretty comfortable with it. With the offense we run, we're really up tempo. So I think that requires a lot of substitution in and out. So I think we deal with it really good, and it's definitely good not putting all the pressure on one back. Having to split the carries definitely gives us a little bit of a rest. So I think it benefits both of us. So.
Okay, and now something that really jumped out at me when I was looking at stats of rushes and stuff was you didn't fumble the ball one time all year. Now I'm putting a lot of pressure on you. You got to do it again next year now. But is that something that you stress before each game? I got to hold on to the ball.
Oh, absolutely. That's being a running back. That's my opinion. That's the number one thing. Ball security. If you don't have the ball, you can't score. And I think ever since I played running back as and Pee Wee up, ball security has definitely been the biggest issue. Biggest concern. So I think it's the most important in my book.
Well, that season's over now, and we've started off-season workouts, and spring ball is to come in a couple of weeks. Right. What is the team stressing this off-season?
I think, Coach Newsom being his first year here, going into his second year, I think, just learning the offense, nobody's really completely comfortable with the offense yet, being that we've only ran it for a year now. So I think, just learning plays and being more comfortable in the offense is definitely a big concern going into the spring.
And what exactly is spring ball?
I think for us, it's just a way to work on the communication between everybody, work on timing. For offense, it'll be the timing between the quarterback, wide receivers, and quarterback and running backs. And I just think that's a time that we really perfect the timing and and also a way to get us a little bit into shape, get it a little running in.
And I know you may be in the dark about a little bit of this because they don't talk much to players about recruiting. But what have you heard? What off-season moves, big off-season moves, is Coach Newsom taking this year?
Well, since Coach Newsom recruited me, he's one of the best recruiters that I've been a part with. And being here on the weekends, I don't really know too much about who's coming and who's going, but we've had some really good recruits coming in in the off-season. And I think we're going to land a lot of them. Just from good recruiting alone, and being at Emory, being in this tradition will definitely draw a lot of people here.
Yeah, and we did graduate a lot of players. Right. What weaknesses do you see in spots that we have to replace for next year?
For the defense, we're losing a lot of good defensive players. I just think we got to have the next man step up and just try to replace what we lost. It's just next man up. I think is a big deal. Going into the next season, having that next person step up in that role and having them be a leader is definitely important.
Yeah, and our schedule was just released a couple weeks ago. I think it was last week, actually. Yeah. First game of the year, we play Eastern Tennessee State University. That's big time. It's a D1 program. How you guys got to be jumping out of your seats. How does the team feel about this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody's excited for that game. I mean, playing, teams bigger. I think it's really going to show us, where we are in the season. How we stack up against different teams. If we have success against a Division I team, I think that's gonna make everybody see that we can compete with anybody in the ODAC. And I think that's really going to boost our confidence up if we come out with a win and handle ourselves well against East Tennessee State University. So.
Absolutely. And I mentioned the buzz about maybe an ODAC championship. And what is it that is going to hold Emory back from winning an ODAC championship? What do you see the struggles of next season being?
That's tough. If I had to say anything, I definitely say our youth. We're still fairly young, but I mean, if anything, I think just our youth and inexperience will definitely hold us back a little bit. But I really don't see anything that's going to hold us back from winning. I think we're going to be at the top again. I think people are really going to look at us different this year and saying that we're a team that's going to compete for a championship.
All right, that was a little bit of a pessimistic look at it. Now I want to go more optimistic route. What do we need to keen in on? What do we need to keep an eye out for that's going to bring us to the top of that ODAC?
Just having a focus throughout the whole year. I think last year, some people, I wouldn't say we're getting tired of the season, but I think we kind of lost that drive towards the end of the season to go win an ODAC championship. I think we just got to keep that focus throughout the whole year, and then we'll come out on top if we do that. I think we just got to remain focused throughout the whole year. Not let weather things like that hold us back. So I think big focus throughout the whole year will put us over the top.
Yeah, and I hope you guys get there. That's all we have time for today, but I really appreciate you coming on the set today, Chris, and I really appreciate what the football team's doing for our campus. It's really something special. I hope you guys get that ring next year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. That has been the Sports Interview. I'm Kevin Ansberger. He's Chris Thompson, and now I'll send it over to Nathan Fischel with the Sports Update.